The Art of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Let's just jump into this. But first, you're getting the full unboxing. It's still wrapped in wonderful plastic. Allow me but a moment to retrieve my weapon of mass destruction, my vorpal greatsword of knife. Bear with me. We don't want to mess things up. Aha. Let's do this. I think let's do this. Oh my. Oh, feels so nice. The Art of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So we're not going to flip through every single page. It's quite a hefty book. Well built. The book craft, the quality. Ooh. What is this? This masterfully designed, oversized hardcover art book invites the reader on a visual journey through the world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. A world defined by the harsh beauty of Viking life, rich with fascinating characters and breathtaking landscapes. 3 bullet points. This book features iconic artwork ranging from stunning settings to brutal weapons, as well as developer insights. This book explores the development of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and this book provides an insider's look at the first title in the franchise to explore Norse culture and the Viking invasion of England in the 9th century. Ubisoft, whatever you want to call it, and Dark Horse Books offer this enticing collection of art and commentary that is sure to attract returning fans and newcomers alike. Though the little sticker here says $39.99, I bought this. This was on sale perhaps, or maybe you can find it for the same price now for only like $22 or something like that on Amazon, right? Prime, delivered quickly, free shipping, all that good stuff. Beautiful Viking artwork here on the front. But as I will hope to do with all of my unveilings in art books, we'll flip through some of the pages, and when something sparks, when something leads me down the road towards Dungeons and Dragons creativity, I'll chime in and give my thoughts on how I might use that or how that might inspire me to bring something to the table within the Dungeons and Dragons gameplay space. But let's jump into this a little bit, okay? The Art of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I am quite familiar with the franchise. I used to be heavily engrossed in it. I played the first one and finished that. I played Assassin's Creed 2. I think I dabbled in 3, but then after that, I just got out of the franchise and I just lost the luster of it. So I have not played this one here, but I've seen some gameplay videos and whatnot. And this, as you saw, as I just opened it, is my first foray into the art of it. But here we go. That's, perfect. The Art of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Awesome Viking landscape. Nice little textured page there. I could almost take a screenshot or a picture of that and use this as the background. I might actually do that for one of my writing efforts for my books. Forward by Raphael Lacoste. I know that guy. Not personally, but that name is very familiar. I think he's an art director for Ubisoft. Has been a part of many of my most iconic visual pursuits, I guess. Bunch of credits, all that good stuff, contents. See, I don't just think of and look at the book craft, of course, right? How it feels, the texture. It doesn't have a gloss to it. Right here a little bit, there's gloss on the words. Like there's I don't know, I can feel it. There's some texture there. But otherwise it's kind of matte, but it's beautiful. And the craftsmanship is really, really good. But I don't only look at the art, of course, pretty pictures and the book craft. I look at design, how it's laid out, how efficiently it's laid out, the color usage. I like a little bit of this turquoisey blue-green that's there, right? And it still maintains the same logo, the same print, but yet now you have a different background. It stands out more because of contrast. I look at font usage. I like the table of contents, as you know, writing my own book. I'm a sucker for this sort of stuff. So this is where, remember the bullet points on the back, it said that it offers sort of an insight into the development of. So, of course, this is the stuff on camera that's not going to resonate as well. I'm not going to read the thoughts and behind the scenes of it, but there's definitely some value in really reading through this stuff as well, right? There's a lot of words here. It's not just pictures. And I like stuff like this where you can get an idea of like, what do they mean? Why did they do that? What impact did it have on the game, and so on. So there's a lot of value in that, but let's flip through a little bit. Characters. Ooh, that's a good one. Now, when you're looking at using something like this for inspiration, right? Just sit back, grab your, speaking of, one moment. Grab your coffee. And you're like, hey, I'm going to use this to inspire me or motivate me or get me, excited about something or other. The obvious rings true. Tribes, Viking, the Norse, right? Up in Icewind Dale, things like this, okay? Let me make sure that that's not too bad. Had to make sure the zoom in and the focus was on point. But I like to think of things outside of the obvious here. Costume, wardrobe, beautiful, very strong. Pretty sure that's female, which is always an indicator of Viking culture and Norse mythology, things like that, right? Very strong, powerful women. Gauntlets, gloves. Assassin's Creed, after all, so you still need to have the hidden blade, right? This screams to me a little bit of like Roman. Just the colors and also just the, the legions. Again, very strong silhouettes. Almost has a little bit of a ninja type feel to it. And here she is a little more fleshed out. The face paint, whether that's a religious thing, a culture, or like paganism, whether it's used for actual camouflage, like an actual mechanical benefit. But think of something like this, right? Like you may have games where you're going to include magical tattoos. Well, now you tattoo the eyes. That right there gives you the perks that the Eagle Totem Barbarian gives you, right? Where you can see up to a mile away, those sort of things. That's what it kind of starts screaming to me. So right there, I might start making these little bullet points of, hey, I just thought of a new magic item. Face tattoos, right? Post Malone style, but what does it give you? Here we, did my book just rip? Nah, maybe it's just the creaking old knees of a book is slowly warming up. Just exploring different hair designs. Again, the obvious is here, right? Viking aesthetic. But now you're looking at where you go back to this, right? Much, yes, screams barbarian, but a light rider, someone that can be mounted, right? There's not a lot of clothing going on there, a lot of protection. So therefore, maybe she has the ability to endure the elements, like resist cold. But yet here you're getting into a lot more, perhaps royal or regal. Maybe this is what the standing guard looked like, more uniform, heavier plate mail, more covered. The same is the case here. You have the furs, the warmth, like this screams very enduring the elements and the cold, but yet you have armor. Different armor types. And I love this. This little box with the little grunge on the outside. Ooh, weapons, shields, beautiful. I like this. This gives me something. Imagine orcs, right? Maybe the shields are a lot more crude, or they've stolen these shields from the nearby elven civilization, and they adorn it with like these bandanas that represent, the Bloodtooth tribe, and then the Grimskull clan, and so on. That hammer, maybe that has a blue quality, and that starts to vibrate into a bluish glow, which means that the frost damage bonus is now on board. Ooh, I like the lion thing. Maybe that means something in your culture, in this tribe of Norsemen, northern humans. They revere this great white lion that supposedly roams the plains. Not just a single one, because obviously he's killed it. But, it's a very rare beast or species that's up there. And it's sort of a mutual symbiotic relationship. They feed and provide and revere the lions, but also to signify sort of like Sparta, right? Your ascension to adulthood, to achieving a status where you can now roam with the soldiers. You have to go out there I think it was just like the beginning of 300, right? Where the young 14-year-old whatever has his spear and he's got to fight the great wolf. You have to go out there and slay the same beast that you grew up revering, respecting, that the culture looks to as almost like a deity, if you will. But in slaying that lion, that signifies that you are now ready to ascend, you are now able to fight and earn your journey to Valhalla. And that's demonstrated by those that have moved through that path. Maybe there's multiple paths, but those that have moved through that path indicate that by wearing that adornment on their shoulder. Look how much detail there is. Not just, I'm not talking aesthetically, but just what I said. There's a lot of hooks, a lot of gameplay that can come from that, right? There's looks like he lost an eye. Really cool. Sigurd Randvi. Ooh, Valka. Now we can start getting into shaman magic and witch doctors and necromancy, right? Again, if you need to use this and figure out how it weaves into Dungeons and Dragons, weave it into the schools of magic. This is necromancy because of the skulls. Maybe that is as well, but maybe this gets a little more into the healing and medicinal aspects of necromancy, where this is just straight up raising of undead. What's this? I don't know. Maybe there's more nature or weather. Just a lot. There's a witch, a hag. Ooh, this guy Ivar looks easily can be a guy on the docks or in more the seedy side of town, right? He's missing some teeth. He's kind of a pirate. I love the shaved head with the tattoo. That does something. The tattoo, remember, we're talking about face tattoos that provide you with boons and benefits. Really cool aesthetic. I like that weave between Assassins, Thieves Guild, but yet, why does it always have to be within, a dark, brooding city, a very Ravenloft, Barovia type, where you have the Thieves Guilds and the Assassins Guilds? What about an Assassins Guild that live up in tents in the frozen ice of the north? Norway. Ooh, now we're going to start getting into some environment. I love this, like seeing fjords and all this other stuff, and like the Viking ship is stuck or it's docked, sailing these seas, the cracked ice wastelands where you need to wait for the great frost kraken to break through the ice and sort of, like a large fin cutting through water. But this fin of this creature, this sea creature, is cutting through ice, and you need to wait for that to happen before you can finally set sail and plunder the nearby lands. Ooh, I love this. Almost like a monastery, or right here, where you're getting up on the hill and you're making your journey. That's really neat. Ooh, braving the storms. Here's where you can start pulling into the DMG and start learning about environmental hazards, right? How dangerous it is. Northern lights, that type of stuff. Iceland. This can easily be taken into grid format and use this as the Viking ship that your players spend some time on. Maybe they find a place where they can rent these ships and use that as sort of a little campaign story arc for a while, where they just journey across the seas for a bit. That's awesome, Helm. I love this. Like, there's so much here. Just take each one of these. You have 6 of them, and then create a subculture. I mean, let's do that here as we kind of start to wrap up the video so it's not too long, right? Well, that's much cleaner, much simpler. So what you can tell is obviously it has one piece that's protecting the bridge of the nose. You have your eyes, of course, and then you're protecting the most important part, which is the cranium, like the top of the head, from damage and blows and a maul. It's thick, right? Looks like heavy steel. But then everything beneath, you can see the mouth. So maybe this tribe, this group of people, it doesn't matter if it's orcs wearing those helmets or elves. Maybe they're thicker, larger elves. Change it. Don't just follow Tolkien's path. But you can definitely tell that you're going to see the beard, right? So there's something culturally where those that wear this helmet, you can identify who is sort of a leader among the tribe or among the clan based on how many braids are in their beard, or those that interweave blue and greens and almost like Aztec Mayan, those sort of color schemes. Those that weave those things into their beard indicates their rank or status within the tribe. Right? Maybe you see someone that's clean shaven. So not only do they not have the beard, which allows them to help endure the cold elements, keep their face warm, but you can see that because this helm specifically only covers the top part. This tribe, meanwhile, you have that pointed piece, right? To me, let's just look at the aesthetic of it. This looks like a raven. It looks more like bird-like. So maybe the subculture or the subgroup within your culture that wear this sort of helm, they still want protection, right? On their head, which is the most important part of the body to protect. But these are the more deceptive, like more Kenku-esque, right? They're the ones that kind of skulk and lurk about in the darkness and the shadows. And you can easily identify those two. Like the more slender guys wear this helmet. These are the more roguish types. Now you have this one. This looks a little more formal, right? This looks more Uruk-hai to me. This looks more elven in a way, or Rohan, right? Where you had the horse coming down the bridge of the nose. I don't know what that's called in Armor 101, but you get it, right? But here you have a lot more room, like a band, where you can have these adornments, right? So now maybe this is more of a ceremonial thing. They only wear this during funerals, during, burial time, whatever it may be, a wedding or, whatever, a key event. Here you have now protection coming down along the sides of your face, along your ears. So maybe here what happens is you have guys that are out in the open a little more, like lead scouts, but they need that protection on their periphery because they might be getting attacked from the sides, meaning these guys are more isolated. They don't have a man to their right and their left to protect them, right? So they're not standing in sort of militia lined up format. These guys are scouts out in the open, and they have protection along the sides. How can you tell that's a scout? Because he's got protection from all angles because there's armor protecting on many sides. This can be more ritualistic, more cultish. Also, as much as it's something you put on your face or your head, that looks more skull and bone. It's not going to protect nearly as much as this riveted, reinforced steel, right? But it's lighter. But this is more the witch doctors. This is more the medicine man, the shaman. You see these guys coming up, they're here to fix something, or they're here to roll the bones and cast a spell. And then finally, just the color alone, whether it's just tinted, patinaed, if it's bronze, if it's, gold, this is royalty. Okay, now, what does the little blurb say? The team took inspiration from various martial, historic, and mystical styles to design the equipment and clothing for the Norse factions. We just broke down those 6. I'm starting to ask a lot of questions. You know how I talk about Content 101, Gameplay 101. Whether you want to just read this for enjoyment and write your own little cool story or novel, or you want to use this and plug and play these inspirations into a D&D game, any edition, or role-playing game for that matter. As you answer the questions that you're asking, that's how you form bullet points or little launch points for content. Okay? So that's where my mind goes when I see this stuff. Could my mind have gone there anyway? I don't know, but that sparked it. Now I'm thinking. Just off of 6 helmets. Okay, we'll do a quick browse through. I really won't ramble too much more. Oof. These are incredible. I've got, not only the software, but I have the ability to just scan this, take a photo of it, bring it into my computer and Photoshop this stuff out and create little blurbs on here's the weapons that you guys get. But they scream to a certain aesthetic and motif. But these are new magic items. And if you look, what I like about stuff like this, where you see a book that offers so many weapons, these are different visually than what you see in the DMG. But yet I can still create this as a magical axe. And here's what it looks like and so on, right? Voyagers. Let's see where we are. Ships. Lots of ships. Heraldry and things like that. All right. So, anyway, you could see there's... Oh, see, I didn't play the game, so obviously there's some element of the weirdness of the storyline of Assassin's Creed where you're getting into modern, I guess. See? Like a more modern architecture. But I can still pull from those things, that aesthetic. Right here, America in present day. I can pull from that. I can use that stuff. Like, that's a real... I don't know what you want to call it. That's what I'll leave you with for this video. Try this little creative exercise. How much D&D, actual content, can you pull from your iPhone, your cell phone? Pull out your cell phone, look at your apps, look on your screen, the buttons, the things you can click, the features that technology offers you, but how does that apply to the D&D space? I promise you, you'll go places that you didn't otherwise go. And you can get a lot from that. All right? So that's the quick and very, very brief version of... The art in this book is excellent. I love it. I like that it gives us both modern, sort of a little more 900 time period, but then it also gives a lot of environment art, character art, male, female. I love the strong female warrior aesthetic. I love Viking culture, Norse stuff anyway. Jotunheim and all this good stuff. Valhalla. All right, folks, there we go. This was a quick little, whatever it was, on the art of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. See you guys next time.